All right, this video covers the basic properties of logarithms or natural logarithms. They both apply. And we're going to do some examples. So I just want to make a note, these also apply to ln, our natural log. Okay, so as long as we're dealing with positive numbers here for mn and b does not equal 1, we've got three properties. So our product property says that if we have the logarithm of two pieces being multiplied, then we can split it into the logarithm of the first one plus the logarithm of the second one. And we'll notice this base is b, the base is staying the same on both of them. Similarly, we have a quotient product. So log of m over n, well, if we're dividing, we can split it up, keeping the base the same, but subtract these two pieces. And then lastly, we have the power property with an exponent. So if we have an exponent inside of our logarithmic function, what we can actually do is rewrite it and bring it down to the front. So we can multiply it by the logarithm of whatever was the base of the exponent. So let's try a few examples. So first here, I see I've got 9 times x. This is a product, so I'm going to use that product property. So I rewrite it as log base 9 of 9 plus, because product is plus, log base 9 of x. So there's no solving that we could do here. We are just writing this out. But sometimes if we do have just numbers, you could simplify it a little more. So that could be a cool challenge, is to try to simplify that. So log base 9 of 9, I believe the answer to that is going to be 1. So you could rewrite it that way. If we think about log base 9 of 9, you could type it in your calculator or use the snail method to see that it's got to be 9 to the first power. But that's just a little side note. All right, back to some practice. So here I've got ln of 4 over y. I see that's a quotient, so this is going to be dividing our quotient property, meaning we can rewrite this. So ln of 4, this time it's minus because we're dividing, so it changes to subtraction. ln of 4 minus ln y. This could become a decimal. You could type it in your calculator to see what you get, but otherwise there's no more simplifying you could do. All right, and lastly, we've got 4x raised to the second power. So here we have a power. So we're going to use our power property. I can rewrite this with 2 down in front because it's the exponent comes to the front. So 2 log base 3 of 4x. And if we look closely, we've actually got the product rule as well. So that's what's going to happen with some of these, is that you can continue to rewrite it a few different ways depending on what you have in your logarithmic function. So the way that we use these properties, we will use them in equations, but we also can practice either expanding or condensing logarithms. So we have expressions here, we're not solving yet, but we want to expand using the properties or condense using the properties. So what we were just doing on the last page here was expanding. We had what looked like one term and we split it into multiple terms. So let's try that on this first one. So I see here that I've got some division, so I'm going to start with my quotient rule because of this fraction bar. So I have log base 8 of 3x minus log base 8 of 5. Well, then I see here I've got a product. So I can rewrite this as log base 8 of 3 plus log base 8 of x, and then just copy down that last term that I had, minus log base 8 of 5. So looking at it the other way, we can condense it. So here we've got 3 different terms and we want to condense. And I see I've got a minus, so this is going to make me think of the quotient rule. And then I've got a plus, which is going to make me think of that product property. So when I've got something like this, I've got multiple terms, minus and plus. I'm thinking about how my final answer, there's going to be a fraction and there's going to be some terms on the top and terms on the bottom because of this quotient rule. So I like to look at the sign of each thing to know what's going to be on top. So these positive pieces, the first term and the last term, are going to be multiplied. They're going to be on the top of our fraction. But this middle term, because it's subtracted, it's going to be divided by, so it's going to be on the bottom of the final answer. So 3x times 7 divided by 2 would be my final answer here. You can also take it one step at a time and just kind of work your way across. So if we start with this being quotient rule, then we have ln of 3x minus, or just, excuse me, divided by 2 plus ln of 7. And then we've got the product rule. So then we get ln of 3x times 7 over 2. So we still end up with the same thing, just kind of 2 different approaches.